Hello everyone, this is Saleh from FXG, and today I'll be showing you how to get or set up your Adb Tools and use it to install or sideload apps to your Nreal Light headset. Before we get started, let's talk about Adb and what it is and why it's useful to us. Adb stands for Android Debug Bridge, and it's a command line tool that lets you communicate with your device. This lets us do things such as installing apps on the fly without having to copy them and navigate menus and stuff. You can just type a command in the command line, and the app will be installed directly on your device. So this is very useful for us since we have no way to interact with the UI of the Nreal Light directly, and this makes things a lot easier for us. Okay, so to use the Adb or Android Debug Bridge, you're gonna need to install it. Now in this tutorial I'm going to cover Windows and Linux based installations, and let's get started with Windows. For Windows, you're going to want to copy or go to this link. I'm going to have it down below in the description. You can just copy and paste it into your browser, and it's going to download the latest version of Adb. You just click it and it should show you. I've already got mine downloaded. It's right here, and what you can do after that is, let me open another Explorer window. Okay, now you can extract this file anywhere on your computer, anywhere convenient, but the way most people like to do it is just in their C drive, and in the folder, or create a folder called Adb and then put all this content in here. Basically, I've already done that, but when you do it, this is how you go by it. So now that we've got that installed, you go to Start and you pull up Command Prompt. Now we're gonna have to navigate to where Adb is installed. So what you want to do is copy this directory, come to your command prompt, you type in cd, and then you paste this, and now we're over here. Now what you want to do is go Adb devices, and what this does is that it pulls out all of the devices connected using the Android Debug Bridge. And over here, oh sorry, I mistyped that, Adb devices right there, and now you can see my devices over here. And what we can do now is go on to the next step, which is installing apps. Okay, now for Linux. It's a little bit different to install or at least acquire Adb Tools, but the process and the way to use it is very similar. Now, if you're using a Debian or Fedora based distro, then you can get it from your public repository. If you're using something else, then you might want to download it in a similar way to what we did in Windows. Now for that, you're going to have a link in the description. Just go to that and download it. But if you're using Fedora or something like me, I'm using Pop! OS, which is Ubuntu based, then you can just open up the terminal. For me, I just press the Windows or Super plus T key, or you can open it from your launchpad, and then you go sudo apt get install adb. Now it's going to ask you for your password. You input that and it gets everything for you. Now we've got Adb running, or at least installed. We can move on to the same thing. We just go Adb devices, and we can already see the device that is connected using the Adb. From here we can move on to the next step. Everything from here afterwards is the same process, whether it's for Linux or Windows. You use the same commands. Alright, now let's talk about installing your app. We do this simply by connecting the headset to the computer and running Adb Tools, same as before. In my case, I'm just gonna open up a terminal window and then type in adb space install space -r, and then simply drag and drop the software package or APK file, and then press enter. It should take a couple of seconds and then display success. From here we move on to the next step, which is granting special permissions to your software. Now you may not always require this, but in some cases your software will require some access to hardware features like the microphone, location, camera, etc. In my case, it requires access to special media and the camera, so we do this by using a tool called Screen Copy. It's SCRCPY. I'm just assuming that's what it stands for. And of course, I'll have the link to download this down in the description. We simply double click the exe file and should get this display mirror of basically what the Android system of the headset looks like. Now, after I install my my software, I should get this screen, which you should see right now, and then I simply click on open. Now, when you open an app for the first time, it usually, on Android at least, it asks you for all the special permissions it needs. In my case, I'll just press on allow for everything to give it all the permissions it needs. And once that's done and the first initialization is done, you can just simply close this window, unplug your controller, and then plug in the headset to it and go on to testing and using your app. Alright, this is gonna be it for today's tutorial. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and leave a comment if you think there's something that we could have done better, or if you have some special requests for future tutorials. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.